How's it going, everyone? We are back for another album reaction and review. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you're having a great day. Today, the album that we're going to be listening to is Awaken My Love by Childish Gambino. I'm pretty sure everyone has heard at least one song off of this album before, and that's Redbone. I actually haven't heard the entire song all the way through before, but that's not even the reason why we're choosing this album to listen to. I was at a party with some of my friends a couple months back, and they put on a song from this album. I couldn't tell you what song it was, but as soon as this song kicked on, I was already grooving with it, but there was a point, about the halfway point of that song, where the music just absolutely exploded, and I couldn't tell you what I was hearing. I could not describe it, but I absolutely loved what I was listening to, and I really wanted to listen to this album all the way through on the channel. It just never felt like the right time, but given the album's theme of love and the theme for this month being love, I figured this was the perfect time to finally dive into it. As far as Childish Gambino goes, I don't know too much about his musical style. I could tell from what I was listening to from that, and then of course what I've heard from Redbone, that he has a very funky, soulful style. Lots of R&B elements too, but I didn't want to dive too much into his themes that he explored across this album. I just want to go in as blind as I possibly can. So we're not going to waste any more time on this intro. We're just going to go right into it. So the first song on the album is Me and Your Mama. Sounds like a lullaby right off the bat. Very dreamy and like cosmic almost. Sounds like the twinkling of stars. And the voices are very angelic. This is so silky, and that bass just like broke all of that up, but in a good way. I think this is the song. A lot of change-ups in the rhythm. It's so painful and emotional. All that was so heavy, and now it's just like you're floating, like it's weightless. Like you got all that off your shoulders, and now you could just breathe. It's a very soothing rhythm. Wow, that was so full of emotion and so intense. That was the song that I was thinking about that was at that party. And that very intense section. I don't know how to say it like that. His voice just absolutely tore that fucking song apart. Given the song title and the album title, this first song feels like a bedtime story for Childish Gambino's child. And the different parts of this song are showing all the different intensities of love in that relationship. The first section of this song felt like a lullaby, and the middle section is just so full of emotion, all different ranges of emotion and love. It felt very painful too, though. To me, it felt like a response to rejection, almost like she's pulling away from him and he's trying to pull her back. And that final section is almost like the aftermath of all of this intense love that was being experienced. You just feel this weight off of your shoulders, and the same rhythm and love is being felt in the later parts of that song, but it's very calm, it's very subdued. But what a damn good fucking song that was. And that's just the first fucking song. So now we got, and the next song is Have Some Love. It's got a very soulful, like, gospel feel, I guess. It's very devilish. Like Temptation or something. Like Brotherly Love? That acoustic guitar is a pretty good touch to this. Giving it like an old-timey feel. That was a good one, actually. And something that I was meaning to say in the first song was, this is music that you could just feel and just sway and vibe to. He's doing a really good job showcasing that with these first two songs. This one is definitely more soulful, and you know what? With some of these verses, I can hear a almost darker underlying meaning behind it, but this is really feeling like brotherly love. What I'm getting a sense of is maybe friends or your inner circle turning their backs on one another, maybe growing up or just differing opinions. But the song feels like it's trying to explain or guide people to staying close with your friends, because the world is so vast that you want to have some familiar faces who you can trust around to, you know, go in this dark world with. To me, I was getting some flares of Lenny Kravitz in there. Again, anytime I mention an artist, it's just something that sounds familiar to me. That sort of had the same sound as Fly Away. And even in the texture of their voices, it almost sounded alike. But this is something that I don't normally listen to, and it's just clicking right off the bat, you know, musically, and just especially his approach with the vocals, he's a damn good singer. The next song is Boogieman. Now this has an old school funky feel.
If you point a gun at my rising sun, though we're not the one, we have done the crime. Yeah.
Very psychedelic. Ooh, that cowbell in there. That drummer's feeling it. Ooh, that bass too.
Knows my niggas' word.
That same maniacal laugh that you'd get in like Thriller or something. That little instrumental at the end could just keep going on forever and ever. Fuck, man. I loved the drums in that one especially. That rhythm section was fucking awesome. And this song, I think, is very, very tongue-in-cheek. To me, I'm getting a sense that this is talking about the police force. Some of the lines that Childish Gambino uses to really sell that message is, but in the bounds of your mind, we've done the crime. You've got to help us, can you? He's so helpless that he has no other choice. Who else is he to go to? The words are showing that there's a danger around the corner, but everyone's just going about their business, just living life. And the words that are being spoken are kind of getting lost within the music, but that's done purposefully because it's a reflection of how life is actually going right now. Childish Gambino has a very direct and almost passive-aggressive style of getting his message across from what I'm seeing. The next one is Zombies.
All I see is zombies walking all around us. You can hear them coming.
It's like a very cold and chilly night. You're like walking down the street in the middle of the night.
Here they come behind you. Try to stay alive. That's right, that's right. All I see is zombies feeding all around. Know what happened? They just stay alive.
I like those keys. Ooh, and that synth.
Find there is no safe place to hide.
The range of that percussion, the depth in those toms, and then these little clicks here and there.
Do you feel alive? Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. It's doing all the talking for me. Yeah, even when no words are being spoken, these instrumentals are so up my alley. Like, I could just come up with all sorts of rhythms just to groove along with this. Given someone like Childish Gambino, I imagine there is a deeper meaning behind these songs. This song in particular, I'm sure someone can just look at these lyrics and listen to the words and think this is just talking about zombies. It's probably some sort of Halloween song. But the line that really stuck out to me that tells me it's something more than that is, "We're eating you for profit." And to me, what immediately came to mind was capitalism. Maybe he's trying to throw a jab at just the overall structure of the economy and the landscape of the U.S., but it's everything that goes along with that that really sells that message. You can make those metaphors of those in power as zombies, that they have no life, they have no emotion to any of their decisions. It's feeding on everyone else and their potential of growth. You know, something that just comes to mind for something like that. But as I was saying for the previous songs, is the music that he decides to use for these is very contrasting to what the message is actually saying. As far as the music is concerned, this one with those psychedelic guitars, especially early on, and the vibe of the rhythm section, it gave me like the Wings with Paul McCartney, Band on the Run feelings. And I love that song so much. The guitar in that song especially. Like I was saying with Lenny Kravitz, that's totally a positive for me. And the next song is Riot. Those effects. Feels like an arcade machine. Feels like a war is going on. Sounds like a beacon sending a signal. Interesting. Okay, so that one had some cosmic elements with those effects going on. Sounded like Galaga or like an arcade game going on with the sound of the blasters. And at the very end, sounded like an alien invasion. You know, with that in mind, maybe he's trying to make some connections with his perception of what's going on in the world. In this first little section, he's feeling like a anxiety that's building up inside of him, and he feels like he needs to act on whatever situation that he's in. And in the next section, he's feeling isolated and no one's taking him seriously or understands where he's coming from. And then it follows up again by those threats around the corner. And as I've said in the previous songs, this message is being coded or veiled by this very upbeat and lively music. You can make some comparisons to old English literature here, because a lot of the times those stories that are told have a very whimsical or fun overall story or world, but the much deeper meaning within those stories is much more dark and much more grim. But it doesn't take away from the listening or reading experience. You can still enjoy the piece without that deeper context. And the next song is Redbone. I like those bass grooves. I don't know what that effect is or if that's like a synth, but it's very futuristic. It's got like a 70s or 80s vibe though. I like how the rhythm went from those keys to the guitar. I've never heard this section before. I like those keys. Wow, okay. So I had to look up what Redbone means, and Redbone is a slang term for a light-skinned black woman with reddish complexion in her face. Gambino is the main character, and he's talking to this girl. He's waking up next to her, and he feels like something is not right between them, and he's trying to make this work. He's saying, if you want it, you can have it. You know I'm here for you. And then he says, but stay woke, and kind of goes back to the album title, Awaken My Love. As it's going on, I'm seeing it says they're going to find you, they're going to catch you sleeping. And it's funny that they use those words, right? Because this is 2016 and everyone knows what stay woke means. So I can only imagine what the context is within this song. And then it says, how did it get so scandalous? So again, it goes into that political angle here. And I don't quite know all of the context here, but the rhythm is, I think, what really drives home this song. It's so timeless. Everyone knows it. That instrumental, all of the instrumentals in this album are flawless. Those keyboards faded out, and then the guitar picked up that rhythm throughout the rest of the song, so you can see some of those psychedelic elements come through at the very end. A really nice blend of R&B into that psychedelic funk here. Very great fusion of those genres, and I can totally see why this song is as popular as it is. The next song is California. I already like this.
She wants to move to California. She must have fucking lost her mind. She make a movie with her friends, put it up in a minute. Everybody saying now, ain't the loop at the minute. Everybody saying how you do it, you did it. I'ma show you what it done, but enough for a finish. She want to hang with Dizzy Fly.
Sounds like a parody. I don't know why.
All the people all around and follow people like a smoker illegal. Make a living illegal. Make a life illegal. Make a snap for a people. When you make a movie now you make no difference. Cause you take up all the mind for me finish your set in California. She must have fucking lost her mind.
Yeah, it's going through all of the drawbacks of California, and it's like people glamorize living in California, thinking that they'll become a star. It's a lot tougher to make it than you think because it's just a flood of people from all over the world trying to make it with the same exact dream. I can hear the effort that he's putting into the voice, but it's like he's making a caricature out of himself with it. It doesn't feel like it's taking itself seriously. And maybe that's a parody on songs like this or the idea of going to Hollywood and trying to make it big. But I can't tell his angle on this either. I can't tell if he's being a little passive aggressive with the overall message or if he's actually taking it very seriously. So I don't know. It's a catchy song for sure. The next one is Terrified.
There's a bottom to the top of a moment. You won't always
Definitely a switch up in the music.
do it, misbehave. Haunt you to your grave. I'm going to eat you alive. Just you know that you're the one. Stand by, La 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 la. I'm spinning.
Yeah, those keys are really brightening this up.
I'm spinning you up.
Like a top, spinning you up like a top.
I'm spinning you up. I'm spinning you up. Just you know that you're terrified.
It feels like running through the alleyways and trying to escape something. Going through like underpasses and just like the darkness of the city. That's what this feels like. It's crazy that they do that switch up to the kid's voice at the end. Something about using a kid's voice, or let's say like a higher pitched voice to mimic a kid's voice, which I should have touched on in the Igor review, is it's like taking a step back in time to your childhood and honing in, like in this case, where the kid is literally pleading, almost like he's pleading for his life. The message that has been being said from a adult's point of view is now being put in the context of a kid's point of view, where the outcome or the result of the situation is the same, but the premise is different. And that's where the underlying message gets way more, like I said, way darker and way more grim. In the real world, we see that taking place. Throughout all of these songs, there is this underlying tone of a dark presence or being chased. Now, when we get to the beginning of the song, it's almost like this person's point of view is gaslighting or manipulating Gambino's character into thinking that they're worthless and that they don't belong here. People want you underground, haunt you to your grave. The world would be better if you were gone. And that brings the whole message about being terrified all the way through. And then how they're spinning him like a top. So there is no sense of direction. and everyone is out to get him. And there's nothing that he can do to stop it. And his pleas are falling on deaf ears. The next song is Baby Boy.
Little hands, little feet, tiny heart,
Very bluesy.
tiny. I don't wanna leave you. I don't wanna see you. Please don't take him away. No, no. Ooh, don't take him away. Don't take my baby boy. Oh, don't take my pride and joy. Oh, I hope I stay around close. Yeah.
God, this is painful.
All the pain, all the tears, we were never supposed to together. When you see me with some other one, and they know your son, please don't take him away. You say you won't, but you will. Yes, you will.
Mm. This is such a heavy song. God, I love those keys.
There was a time before you, and there will be a time after you. Walk tall, little one. Walk tall.
Oh man, wow. This song is probably the most layered song that we've heard on the channel so far. It's just multiple pictures that are being drawn from the context of these words. It's coming from the mother's point of view, and as it's going on, you know, she's saying, don't take him away. She's talking about her child, and that can go in all sorts of directions as to how her child is being taken away from her, be it death, be it growing up. And as she's talking about her child's father, you know, there's not a good relationship there from how it's coming out from her. And why is he not there? That can go in all different directions. As the song is going on, you know, it starts out little hands, little feet. Obviously, she's talking about a baby. But as it's going on, you're seeing the growth in her child. And maybe, you know, it could be a coming of age throughout the song, or she still sees that little kid. She's just going down memory lane at that point. And at the very end with Gambino's monologue, you know, he could be talking from his perspective or his mom's perspective. And it's just his way of healing and moving past this. Walk tall, little one. Just, you know, keep moving forward. and those cries at the end, "Let me hold you." You know, he has a very strong voice, and it's just full of so much heart and emotion. Every time that I hear that, I want to break down because it's just so gut-wrenching, and it fits his musical style within every song that it is brought out. This song is the most linear in terms of the rhythm and it staying constant throughout, but all of the additional elements, whether that be the guitars at the very end or his voice, you know, his voice was what really drove this song all the way through. And to me, this song, along with Redbone and Me and Your Mama, I think those are the strongest songs on this album for sure. The next song is The Night Me and Your Mama Met. No lyrics, I guess. Maybe this is the sound that was going through his mind while that was happening. Fucking A. I think that's like an acoustic guitar. I like that. I like how that guitar is just like slicing through this. You know, there was no words through that entire song, but I can totally feel all the emotion that must have been felt during that night. To me, that song can play as the prequel to Me and Your Mama or a retelling of that night, because a lot of the same elements that were in Me and Your Mama were in that song. It was very calm, it was very soothing, and it was almost like you can feel the warmth of that encounter. And then when you hear the twinkles of the keys playing in there, you know, that was present in Me and Your Mama. And when that happened, I was getting a sense of lullabies. So by that point within the song, about the minute mark, those twinkles started to appear. And it's like Gambino knew that he wanted to have a child with this woman. So I thought that was kind of funny. And yeah, like I said, maybe this is the bedtime story for his child, and all of those intense emotions that were being felt within Me and Your Mama, maybe now it's at a level appropriate for his child. Lots of love within that one, and no words needed to be told in that. So that just shows how strong and talented of a musician that Childish Gambino is. The last song is Stand Tall. I think that's a little callback to Baby Boy, so let's see. I think that same rhythm was in Me and your mama.
When the sun is rising over streets so barren, since the evening, colors flash before my eyes. Keep all your dreams, keep standing tall. If you are strong, you cannot fall. There is a voice inside us, so smile when you can, when you can. How this used to feel so far and free, now these broken souls are all I see. Fists have fallen to our side.
Keep all your dreams, keep standing tall.
Oh, na na na.
If you are strong, you cannot fall.
There is a voice inside us all. So smile.
I don't even need the drums right now. You can just feel the music.
When you can.
Warm and cozy.
There is more out there, and somebody cares about you.
Keep all your dreams, keep standing tall. If you are strong, you cannot.
Like just we went to warp speed.
Keep all your dreams, keep standing.
There is more out there.
What are these switch ups?
Keep on. If you are strong,
Dude, I want to be this drummer so bad. That just could have kept going. Holy shit. I fucking loved this album. At the end, I was starting to get some Michael Jackson vibes in his voice and just the overall vibe of that song. And, you know, the drums didn't come in until like the last minute of that song, but I did not give a shit at that point. I just loved everything that was happening in that. That one felt like a lot of self-love and coming of age with him. Just like he was saying, and Baby Boy, just keep tall and keep moving forward. All of the imagery that was going on within that, both within his words and within the music, it was feeling very bright and optimistic compared to a lot of the other songs that were happening earlier on. This album, I think, is one of the more easier listening sonically, but it's the denser message that is coded underneath this just lively music. And yeah, this album has so much fucking love all throughout it. Like I was saying, brotherly love, parental love, romantic love, and self-love all the way through this. I can see parallels with all sorts of musicians within this and all the different styles. Gambino was able to blend them all so well. This entire album, I felt like I had my eyes closed throughout this entire album just because I was going off of the feel of this. I felt this fucking music. And that's all I have to fucking say about that. Well, thanks so much, guys, for hanging out. Please let me know any feedback that y'all have on this review, and let me know some of y'all's favorite songs on this album. Right now, I think my favorites are Me and Your Mama, Baby Boy, and Stand Tall. I love this album, but those ones just absolutely did it for me. And thanks so much again for checking this out, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.